Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News. Today I want to tell you everything I know about what went down at the Iraq Veteran Range Day 2021, but before we get started, I want to tell you about the bold, crisp, refreshing flavor of TNVC Night Vision.
TNVC.com! Night vision devices for people who need gratuitous amounts of seeing in the dark. With all new flavors like sour apple green phosphor, white cherry phosphor, and beer! Seeing! You'll be good at it! Science, night vision, science, night vision. TNVC Night Vision is made with real dark matter. You'll be so good at seeing, you'll be able to see through time.
Direction, but you don't manipulate and load and fire that gun until you're on this line. If there's a
Friends, my boss Paul is a real cast iron son of a bitch. He made me fly all the way out to Georgia to eat barbecue and shoot guns and drink beer. The Iraq Veteran Range Day is an opportunity for folks in the firearm industry to vibe with each other. The idea is just to hang out and shoot guns and talk about gun stuff. There were so many great people and interesting products there, it's hard to pick favorites because you know I'm gonna have to leave out something good. But here is some of the stuff that stood out to me. First, let's go live to Andrew at the CMMG booth. Thanks, Andrew. I'm here at the Iraq Veteran Range Day with CMMG, where they're running their 7.62x39 Mutant ragged, as is their custom. The Mark 47 Mutant is the unholy offspring of an AK and an AR, and it always gets lots of attention at events like this, where they hose mag after full auto mag through it until it gets hot, then just dunk it in a cooler full of water and go right back to it.
That's gonna ruin the barrel.
Ah! I know some people that can replace it.
Minutes when the event kicked off, and by the time the shooting was done, they had finished off 7,000 rounds. Just standing near the Mutant is an intense experience. For that matter, all the way down at the other end of the line, it still overshadows everything else. Back to you, Andrew. Thanks, Andrew. At least we had the opportunity to get a break from that beast. I can't imagine what it would be like to work right next to that madness all day long, like the DigiTrigger folk. At first, I kind of wrote off their DigiTrigger as mildly interesting because I thought it was only an electronic trigger. It is indeed an electronic trigger, but it's more than just that. The pistol grip contains a battery, logic circuit, and solenoid. As you press the trigger, it closes a contact, which activates the solenoid, and that pushes on the sear to release the hammer. So this means you can have a ridiculously light 1-pound trigger without the safety problems which would go hand in hand with a mechanical 1-pound trigger. That alone means digital triggers, DigiTrigger, can promote accurate shooting. But wait, there's more. It also has a binary mode which activates the sear when you press the trigger and again when you release. But unlike mechanical binary triggers, it is impossible to outrun the bolt. With a mechanical binary trigger, the hammer will be released every time you press or release the trigger. If that happens before the bolt is closed, you get a click and no bang, and you have to cycle the charging handle to continue shooting. If you pull or release the DigiTrigger too early, the hammer just doesn't release, and all you have to do is pull or release the trigger to fire the next round. There's also an NFA, law enforcement or military only version with electronic burst and full auto modes, which can select between 5, 10, and 15 rounds per second rates of fire.
5.
Did it get too far in there?
Do I have to hit full auto again?
No,
So just hit 10. So we're doing 10.
I was right in the middle of that one.
15.
Dang.
Woo! That's fun.
I want to go fast.
You can go fast.
All of their models are also normal GI spec triggers, so if there were some problem with the electronics, you simply move the selector lever to the manual position, which would be where auto or burst is on an M16, and work the rifle like it would normally function with a regular GI spec mechanical trigger. Pat, being the mad lad that he is, ran into Mark Novak of Anvil Gunsmithing, who had this ginormous 12 gauge. It has a rifled bore, an extended 10-round magazine, an OG cuts compensator, and a low-power variable optic with a circle and dot reticle, which he refers to as the donut of death. This thing is an absolute beast, and I look forward to seeing Pat shoot it. Speaking of Pat shooting, he was the only dude to be able to land a 40 Mike chalk round on this car, at least until towards the end of the day. We also got our grubby little mitts all over the Angstad Arms UDP-9 and MDP-9. The UDP is a handsomely built but otherwise vanilla straight blowback 9mm pistol or carbine. The MDP is a roller delayed version which substantially reduces felt recoil. A large part of the recoil impulse you feel is actually caused by the bolt slamming into the rear of the receiver. Straight blowback designs keep the breech closed by the force of the recoil spring and the inertia of the bolt, which requires a very heavy bolt. But locked breech designs, like the roller bearings used in the iconic MP5, don't need to be nearly as heavy, and that means you don't have nearly as much mass slamming into the back of the receiver. You can clearly see the difference in recoil in this clip. In a similar fashion, Mean Arms has a ball bearing delayed 9mm carbine. It works similarly to the roller delayed action in the MP5 and MDP-9, but instead of rollers, it uses ball bearings to engage recesses in the barrel extension. They also have a hybrid aluminum and polymer lower receiver and a hybrid steel and polymer fire control group for AR-15s. The polymer is molded over the steel parts to reduce weight, which reduces lock time, and it also allows for substantial cost savings in manufacturing. Of course, the sear, the strike face of the hammer, and other critical parts are steel, but the parts that don't have to be steel are overmolded polymer. Well, friends, that's all I have for you today, but before I go, I just want to take the time to remind you to please check and see whether you're still subscribed to our channel. Our robot overlords in the tube of views know what we want better than we could possibly know for ourselves, so they just go ahead and unsubscribe viewers from any channels which happen to express wrongthink like this one. Now, you folks out there know censorship makes puppies cry and Captain America is very disappointed. So, don't forget to check every now and then just to be sure you're still subscribed to us. While you're at it, make sure you ring that notification bell so you never miss a word of our gun rights propaganda. And if you want to get email alerts for the best deals and projects we're working on and the hottest stuff you missed on the ARFCOM forums, you'll also find a Linktree link down there in the doobly-doo for our newsletter. And remember, if you want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you night vision with that cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, and all sorts of other gear to make you the bump in the night. I love you. Are we clear? And then